We were in the middle of a round of truth or dare when I decided to ask my girlfriend a hypothetical question. I looked at her and asked, "If you met a guy who was younger than me and he was into you, what would you do?" My girlfriend didn't even look at me. She just glanced down at the younger student sitting right next to her and answered without waiting a second. "What do you think?" "Of course I'd pick the younger guy. Why are you even asking me something like that all of a sudden? You didn't actually think I'd pick you, did you, Jack? You have to know where you stand." She finished talking, smiled, and casually draped her arm around the younger guy's waist. I didn't say a word. I just stared at her talented young friend sitting behind her, deep in thought. It was strange because just a moment ago, that friend had sent me a text confessing her feelings for me. My phone screen was still lit up with her messages. They read, "Have you thought about it? Why aren't you saying anything? Am I really not as good as her?" The spinner on the table landed on my girlfriend again. She picked truth. Since I was the one with the highest score in the game so far, I had the right to ask her the question. It was just an impulse, really. I looked up at Chloe, who was getting visibly cozy with the underclassman, Ryan. "If you met a guy younger than me who was into you, what would you do?" As soon as the words left my mouth, the whole room went dead silent. It seemed like everyone else wanted to hear her answer, too. Lately, Chloe had been taking Ryan everywhere with her, acting like she was his mentor or something. It was hard for anyone to figure out exactly what was going on in her head. Chloe slowly lifted her eyes and looked straight at me. She had been drinking a bit, so her voice was softer than usual, but the words still stung. "Jack, do you even need to ask that? I'm almost embarrassed for you." She was my girlfriend of 3 years, and I felt like I had to ask a question that should have had only one obvious answer. But then she scoffed at me. "Of course I'd choose the younger one, Jack. You need to know your place." The people around us looked at me with a weird mix of pity and judgment. Chloe and I had been together for 3 years. Before that, she had chased after me for over 6 months. Back then, she didn't have anything, and I stuck by her side. A year ago, her biological family, the Harrisons, found her, and she suddenly became this well-known rich heiress in the city. Everyone in the room was waiting for me to blow up or just sit there and take it. But I just sat there remembering what happened 3 days ago. I had a really bad case of gastritis. Chloe told me I was being too dramatic, that it was just a stomachache, and it wasn't the first time. Later on, her roommate Maya took me to the hospital. While I was there, I saw Chloe. She was busy taking care of Ryan, who apparently also had a stomachache. During the 6 months she spent trying to get me to date her, she used to smile and say, "Jack, I'll always be good to you." But after 3 years, in that single moment, Chloe was completely ruined in my eyes. Chloe saw the look on my face. She frowned a little and reached out to grab my hand. "It's just a game, Jack. Is it really that big of a deal? If it were you and you chose someone younger, I wouldn't be mad." I blinked at her. "Really?" A small smile played on Chloe's lips. "Of course." I looked down at my phone, which was vibrating in my hand. I blinked again, reading the new message. "Have you thought about it? Why aren't you saying anything, babe? Am I really not as good as her?" I looked up and saw an elegant, sophisticated woman sitting behind Chloe. Her eyes were locked on me. That was Maya, Chloe's roommate for the last 3 years and supposed good friend. Just a moment ago, she had told me she had feelings for me. I felt my face get hot. I couldn't imagine someone like her calling me babe. I looked up again and stammered out, "Then let's break up. I choose the younger one, too." Chloe scoffed, looking at me like I was a kid acting out. "All right, you got someone in mind? Need me to introduce you to anyone?" I looked at Maya's slightly shining eyes across the table and shook my head. No thanks. Chloe clearly didn't take me seriously. She just went back to playing the game with the others. Only Maya, sitting across from me, was looking at me with an intense stare. My phone vibrated again. Babe, good boy. I started to regret it in my head immediately. Maya was the youngest girl in Chloe's dorm, but she was known as a total ice queen. I never expected her to be like this on the inside. My ears turned red without me realizing it, and I stood up to go to the restroom. When I came out, Maya was leaning against the wall in the hallway waiting for me. The moment she saw me, she pulled out a tissue and carefully dried my wet hands. Babe, I'll take you home later, she said. Her voice was gentle, like water. Saying something like that sounded completely natural coming from her, but there was an added touch of desire in it. My ears tingled hearing it, and I nodded instinctively, letting her lead me back to the private room by the hand. But as soon as we walked in, I snapped out of it and pulled my hand away. When I looked up, I saw a flicker of hurt in her eyes. Seeing me come back in with Maya, Chloe didn't seem to think much of it. She just stood up and grabbed her coat. Let's go. I noticed her lips looked moist. Then I glanced at Ryan. Yep, his were too. No doubt the last dare they did must have been pretty wild. On the way back to the cars, Ryan casually hopped into the passenger seat of Chloe's car. He gets carsick. You sit in the back, Chloe told me. I shook my head. No thanks, I'll go with Maya. This past month, Chloe had been incredibly busy. Whenever I tried to see her, she would impatiently ask Maya to keep me company. Instead. So this time, Chloe didn't overthink it either. She just laughed nastily. Jack, Maya only agreed to hang out with you before because of me. How can you keep bothering her? She's a bit of a neat freak and doesn't like people in her car. It's hard to get a cab out here, so be sensible. Maya looked at me, her eyes deep. Fine. He's an exception. Chloe's face darkened. She didn't look at me again and just drove off. On the way back, I didn't dare look at Maya. I just stared randomly at the steering wheel, only to see her long, fair, well-defined fingers gripping it. I swallowed hard. At a red light, Maya stopped the car and handed me a bottle of water. Thirsty? I shook my head, suddenly feeling embarrassed. I didn't dare say that I actually have a thing for nice hands. She chuckled softly, put the water bottle down, and took a sip of soda water herself. When she tilted her chin up slightly, her sharp jawline was clearly defined. My gaze was drawn to it again. She reached out and covered my eyes with her hand. Jack, don't tempt me. We're moving too fast, I quickly explained. I just wanted to see what it was like. She suddenly turned the car right and parked on a deserted park road. She grabbed the back of my head and kissed me. At first, she was restrained, just a light touch. Then her breathing got slightly heavier, fanning against my cheek. I instinctively parted my lips. Her breath hitched, and then she began to kiss me passionately. After a long while, she finally let me go. Her eyes were fixed on my lips, and her voice was hoarse. Tasted it now? I didn't dare look at her slightly flushed, thin lips, so I turned my face away. I saw that the soda water had spilled on the leather seat, leaving a wet patch. The seat was dirty. I'd heard Chloe say Maya was a bit of a neat freak. She took out a tissue and started wiping it. It's okay. Jack can get anything dirty he wants. We hadn't done much, just kissed, but I felt the atmosphere was excessively intimate. On the way, Chloe called me a few times. I didn't pick up. The last time she called, I picked up and told her regretfully, If I'd known your friend was this beautiful, I never would have dated you. The babe from Maya's texts made my heart ache in a good way. I didn't wait for Chloe's reply and hung up. I blocked all her contact methods right then and there. Maya parked the car at the dorm entrance. The Sterling family had donated $500 million to the university, so she had some special privileges. After the car stopped, I instinctively reached for the door handle to get out, but it wouldn't open. Maya saw the surprise in my eyes but didn't explain. She just leaned in close to my face, her voice low and scratchy. "Babe, when I call you that, does your heart really ache?" Heat spread through my ears. I didn't know how to explain. Maya's lips curved into a smile, as if she understood. "So, Babe likes to play like this, huh?" The car door unlocked. I got out and was about to run into the dorm building. I definitely felt it. She seemed restless. Thinking of her slightly rounded shoulders, I sighed. The few drinks I had at the club seemed to be hitting me now. My mind went fuzzy, and I reached out and patted her head playfully. "Be good." Maya chuckled softly and nibbled my earlobe. "You really do have a soft spot for me, don't you? Just talking." How come I never noticed how flirty she was before? The dorm supervisor was walking by in her pajamas. She sneered at us. "Youngsters these days playing such wild games. 3 minutes until lockout." I immediately pushed Maya away and ran inside. When I hung up on Chloe, she was actually having dinner with Ryan at a fancy restaurant for couples. Ryan said he wanted the black truffle steak, so she brought him there. "Senior, how did you know about this place?" he asked with a smile. "Did you bring Jack here before?" She shook her head. "A friend recommended it." She thought for a moment. In their 3 years together, she had never brought me to a place like this. She used to be an orphan and barely managed her college tuition with financial aid. She had worked 3 part-time jobs since her freshman year just to make ends meet. Back then, she had fallen for me at first sight. I was a freshman just like her. On the first day of orientation, my photo appeared on the campus confession page. Everyone saw my face. Chloe saw it too, and in an instant, she fell for me. Back then, Chloe felt insecure and poor. When she saw me looking simple in my faded jeans, she felt a sense of relief rather than intimidation. Later, she pursued me for 6 months. After we got together, she continued to work part-time. But one snowy winter day, when she came out of the restaurant where she worked, I was waiting at the door with an umbrella for her. Later, she was recognized by the Harrison family and taken back into wealth. But she never brought me to a restaurant like this. She vaguely felt that since I had eaten street food and at cheap diners with her for 3 years, it didn't matter whether we came to such a fancy restaurant. But instinctively, she would bring Ryan here. Besides not lacking money now, more importantly, Ryan's niche brand outfits weren't suitable for street food stalls. Remembering my words on the phone, she felt a weird panic she couldn't explain. Ryan saw this and comforted her. "He's probably still angry, just saying that to provoke you." Chloe thought so too. She knew what kind of person I was. Innocent and conservative. I would never do something like getting involved with her friend. But what was that fleeting panic? She couldn't explain it. Ryan suggested, "Maybe you should go find him and explain." Chloe was flustered and looked at the rain outside. "No need, let him be." She knew my family situation better than anyone. Divorced parents, both remarried. I didn't really have a home and was terrified of losing people. Needed security more than anyone. If I left her, I'd have nowhere to go. Chloe was sure that within 7 days I would come back to her with eyes red from crying. Thinking this, her panicked heart calmed down. When Chloe returned to the dorm, everyone else was already asleep. Only Maya was still at her computer, looking at the latest government bidding projects. She knew Maya had recently started a company, but didn't pay it much mind. After all, for people from their kind of families, there were usually only two paths after graduation: go back to the family business, or start their own. Either way, with family backing, they wouldn't fall too hard. She didn't understand why Maya, a sole heiress to a giant like the Sterling Group, would want to start her own business instead of taking the easier path of inheriting the family enterprise. But it wasn't her place to say anything. Seeing Maya in the dorm, she still felt a sense of relief. When Maya saw her, she instinctively frowned. Chloe felt a little guilty and rubbed her nose. After all, her roommates all knew me, and Maya, though always cold towards me, had known me for 3 years, too. Thinking about Maya's character, not one to gossip, Chloe relaxed. The next moment, Chloe grabbed her clothes and went to the bathroom. When she came out again, she saw Maya on the balcony talking on the phone. Maya's voice was a bit low. "Babe, what are you doing right now?" It was the first time Chloe had seen the Ice Queen act like that, with such an expression. A soft, light voice flowed clearly from the receiver in the quiet night. Chloe had been showering, so the voice mixed with the sound of running water was a bit unclear to her. When Maya saw Chloe, she quickly said into the phone in a coaxing tone, "Babe, message me after your shower, okay? It's a bit inconvenient right now." The other person agreed, and the call ended. Chloe looked at Maya, figuring it was just possessiveness, and didn't say much. Actually, Chloe couldn't see who Maya was talking to, but it seemed Maya cared a lot about this person. She casually asked, "Got a boyfriend? Is this the guy you've been texting every day lately? Don't tell me it's the guy you've had a crush on for 3 years?" Maya sat back down at her laptop and hummed in agreement. Seeing Maya didn't want to elaborate on her relationship with the guy, Chloe didn't press further. After all, everyone in the dorm knew Maya had a crush on a guy for 3 years. From the looks of it, she'd probably gotten her wish. It was just that she unexpectedly recalled me saying her friend was more attractive than her. She had indeed felt a moment of panic then. Thinking about it now, Maya was the only one in the dorm prettier than her, and Maya was already with the guy she'd crushed on for 3 years. This made Chloe even more certain that I was just sulking. Chloe breathed a sigh of relief. Remembering my words, she still felt a bit angry. She decided to give me the cold shoulder for a while to teach me a lesson. After getting out of the shower, I lay in bed and on impulse opened my chat with Maya. Ever since Chloe started hanging out with Ryan, that underclassman, she rarely contacted me on her own. Even when I pestered her to go see the latest movie, she'd agree. But then the next day, she'd ask Maya to go with me instead, saying, "Sorry, Ryan sprained his ankle." That day, I told Maya to go back. After all, what was the point of us watching a movie together? She looked up at me. "Are you rejecting me?" Her face was strikingly beautiful, and the fingers holding her coat were long and well-defined. Her stance was firm, so I had to agree. When we got back, Maya added me as a contact. Later, when I wanted to play games and asked Chloe, she'd have Maya play with me. Gradually, we got to know each other, until the day I had acute gastritis. Maya took me to the hospital, and I saw Chloe rubbing Ryan's stomach. Her conversations with me became different after that. "Are you going to the school's welcome party?" she asked. "My professor asked me to, but Chloe said I wouldn't look good in that outfit," I replied. "Jack, don't listen to her. She has bad taste. I had a few outfits prepared for you. Try them on backstage tomorrow." That night, Maya stared intently at me on stage. Later, I'd call Chloe and she wouldn't answer, so I could only call Maya to ask where Chloe was. Maya said her calls to Chloe weren't going through, so she could only try a video call. "Chloe doesn't seem to be in the dorm right now." If she's not there, why would Maya pick up a video call meant for Chloe? My roommate snickered beside me. "What do you think she wants? Wow, I didn't expect Maya to be so scheming. Later, feeling things were getting too ambiguous, I distanced myself from her. I stopped replying to her messages, and after a few times, she got the hint. Until she got drunk, called me on video with red eyes and asked, "Am I really not as good as her?" I panicked and hung up. After that, she also kept her distance and didn't contact me again. Until today, when Chloe organized the get-together at the club. As soon as Maya got out of the car, she confessed to me. The next morning when I went downstairs, Maya was standing at the dorm entrance. The dorm supervisor was munching on sunflower seeds. When she saw me, she leaned in and whispered, "Said she's here for you. You're so lucky, one prettier than the next." Then she said loudly, "Hey, is this your girlfriend? It's the first time I've seen a girl waiting for you downstairs." After saying that, she even winked at me. When Chloe was pursuing me, she often brought me breakfast downstairs too. During the 3 years we dated, she would also wait for me downstairs to go eat together. Maya obviously knew this. Hearing the supervisor's words, Maya's lips curved into a slight smile. She leaned close to my ear. "Babe, did you bribe her?" I was gradually getting used to her, calling me that. Remembering the plastic bottles, cardboard boxes, and fruit I'd given the supervisor over the past 3 years, I nodded stiffly. Probably. As Maya and I walked to the school gate, I ran into Chloe's other 2 roommates. I instinctively pulled my hand away from Maya's. She lowered her eyes, her gaze darkening. Luckily, the 2 of them didn't seem to notice anything and walked towards the basketball court. As soon as we got in the car, Maya nipped my collarbone, sounding aggrieved. "Am I that shameful to be seen with?" I instinctively comforted her. "Of course not." Her lips curved upwards. She was appeased in a second. The car started and pulled up at a shooting range. I hadn't expected this. Some time ago, after liking a video, I meant to tag Chloe but accidentally tagged Maya instead. I quickly untagged her, but I didn't think she'd actually seen it. When we went inside, the people there clearly knew Maya and welcomed us in. Maya demonstrated for me. 10 shots, all bullseyes. Under the special goggles, her perfectly smooth profile was right in front of me. Chloe could shoot too, just not as well as Maya. She looked at me and took off her goggles, her thin lips curving slightly. "Babe, who's better, me or her?" I praised her without hesitation. "You, of course." On the way back that night, I noticed we were taking a completely different route. I asked, puzzled, "Where are we going?" She sounded aggrieved and said through gritted teeth, "To show you who's really better." Back to the shooting range? I didn't expect even someone as cool as Maya to have such a strong sense of pride. The car stopped in the underground parking garage of a high-end apartment building. Maya opened the car door and led me inside by the hand. The apartment door closed. She kissed me fiercely. "Fast or not, you'll have to try to find out." I went limp, feeling all my strength drained until I felt her burning arousal. Only then did I realize what she was talking about. She grabbed my hand, her fingertips tracing my palm. "Anyone can say I'm not good enough, but not you." She looked straight at me. "Inside? Forget it. Since Jack doesn't believe me, I'll have to prove myself." Her slender eyes darkened. My cheeks instantly felt hot. With that, her well-defined fingers slowly, unhurriedly undid the buttons of her white shirt. I froze for a second. The next moment, she took my hand and gently pressed it below her waist. Almost instinctively, I cursed. Who could resist such temptation? Hearing it, her eyes lit up. Good. The next second, we fell onto the soft bed. Amidst the pervading intimacy, She asked me in a hoarse voice, "Can I?" I nodded. With someone like her, I wasn't losing out. The night was still young. Chloe would occasionally see me around campus. I seemed even more striking than before. The clothes I wore were from high-quality niche brands. I exuded a sweet and gentle aura, as if I were being well taken care of. Chloe felt a stir in her heart, but still didn't approach me. Until Maya's birthday. Their other two roommates jokingly insisted the birthday girl treat them at the best restaurant in the city. She remembered that restaurant was owned by the Sterling family. Maya was looking down at her phone, her dark, choppy bangs hiding her eyes, which darkened and then darkened again. Chloe knew what that look meant, so she teased, "What, texting your boyfriend?" Maya looked up. "Yeah?" The other two roommates exchanged glances. Chloe said, "You said you were in love and we didn't believe it, but it's actually true. It's your birthday dinner today. Bring your boyfriend along." Maya stood up and walked out. "I'm going to pick him up now. I'll send the address to the group chat. See you in a bit." She was always a woman of few words, so the others didn't say much. Chloe looked down. She and I had been giving each other the cold shoulder for over a month. She opened her chat with me and sent a message. "Anyway, it's Maya's birthday tonight. You should come too." After sending it, I didn't reply. An inexplicable irritation crept into her heart. Just then, Ryan messaged her. Hearing about Maya's birthday dinner, he asked if he could tag along to see the world. But Chloe thought of me. My voice was soft and pleasant, and even on our dates, I would just be shy and quiet. Chloe really liked that side of me, but I was a bit too conservative. So when Ryan appeared, Chloe enjoyed the slightly thrilling, ambiguous relationship. Ryan, on the other end, seeing she didn't say anything, took it as a yes and happily hung up. When they arrived at the private room on the 66th floor, Maya hadn't arrived yet. Ryan, however, had brought two of his roommates. Seeing Chloe, he affectionately put his arm around her. "Chloe, thank you. You have no idea. When my roommates found out I was coming here, they all insisted on tagging along. I figured Maya wouldn't mind a few extra people, so I brought them." Chloe frowned slightly. People from their kind of families were taught social etiquette from a young age. Even a 7-year-old knows you don't bring uninvited guests. But since they were already there, she had to give Ryan some face, and didn't say much. Then again, she worried that if I came and saw Ryan, I might get angry. Then Chloe would inevitably have to coax me. Oh well, a little coaxing wouldn't hurt. Having decided, she looked towards the door. Someone asked her, "Chloe, is Jack really not coming today? You guys didn't actually break up, did you? We haven't seen Jack in ages. Are you still giving each other the cold shoulder because of that truth or dare incident?" Chloe frowned and checked her phone. I still hadn't replied. She scoffed. "Break up? What break up? He's just throwing a bit of a tantrum, let him be." She thought if I came, she would apologize to me, tell me that she still had feelings for me. As long as I stopped talking about breaking up, we could go back to how we were. Thinking of how I used to hold her hand and act cute, something she hadn't seen in so long. A smile touched her lips. If we made up, Chloe wouldn't mind breaking things off with Ryan to make me happy. This thought vanished when Maya walked in with me on her arm and sat us down at the head of the table, leaving only shock and anger. Almost instantly, her eyes turned bloodshot with rage. She stared deadly at Maya's hand on my shoulder. She remembered the voice she heard on the balcony that day, so similar to mine. Suppressing her explosive anger, she sneered. "Maya, don't tell me this is your boyfriend." It was the first time I'd ever seen Chloe like this. I glanced at Maya. I was a little lost. She gently patted my shoulder, a silent reassurance. Then she straightened up and met Chloe's gaze. "And what if I said yes?" Chloe kicked over a nearby chair and slapped Maya across the face. "Maya, that's my girlfriend!" Maya looked up and grabbed Chloe's shirt collar. "Your girlfriend? If I remember correctly, you were already kissing Ryan in the hospital before you and Jack even broke up, right?" With that, she pushed Chloe to the ground. "Jack and I got together after you two broke up. I pursued him after I saw you cheating. You don't deserve him." Chloe was panting and instinctively looked at me, her voice no longer confident. "But I can change, Jack. We can go back. Break up with her and we'll get back together. You don't like Ryan? I'll make him leave. Okay?" I frowned. Her words seemed to infuriate Maya. Maya sneered, her face full of contempt. "Change? Chloe, you're dreaming. Why should Jack just take you back and forgive you after you've messed around? Nobody has to pick up trash." I nodded strongly, agreeing with Maya. Chloe saw this, and the last shred of hope in her eyes vanished completely. She watched helplessly as I took Maya's hand and left. From behind the door came Chloe's unwilling voice. "Jack, do you think she loves you? Do you know Maya had a crush on a guy for 3 years?" I stopped. I turned to look at Maya, who looked nervous and wanted to explain. "It doesn't matter," I told Maya. With that, I pulled her away, leaving behind a trashed room and a group of bewildered people. Once in the car, I leaned in to look at the wound on Maya's face. Chloe had slapped her with all her might. The corner of Maya's lip was already turning slightly bruised. "We should go to the hospital. It looks pretty bad." Maya's lips curved slightly. She leaned closer, her breath fanning my face. "Kiss it better, and it won't hurt. No need for a hospital. I'd had enough." She looks like an ice queen, but how is she so secretly flirty? The car windows were tinted so you couldn't see inside from the outside, but I still blushed. "Then just let it hurt like hell." Maya laughed. "Jack, you're so cruel." I really couldn't resist her sensual look, so I started the car and drove to Maya's apartment. On the way, I remembered to buy medicine for her at a pharmacy. After getting back in the car, my heart was in turmoil. I couldn't help but ask, "You had a crush on someone?" Her eyes lit up. "Yes, and he's by my side now." Seeing my confused expression, she didn't explain, just kissed my forehead. "We won't miss each other again. I'll tell you when we get back, okay?" As soon as we got out of the car, she buried her face in my neck, leaning against me. "Jack, it hurt so much." I remembered she hadn't hurt her leg, but it was her birthday, and thinking about how Chloe had ruined it, my heart softened a little. Once we were inside the apartment and the door was closed, Maya gently bit my lip. Holding the pharmacy bag, I was kissed until I went weak, and only then did I manage to whimper a reminder about applying the medicine. She parted her lips slightly. "Jack is my medicine." My face flushed, burned by the desire in her eyes. "You still need to apply the actual medicine." Her voice grew deeper. "All right. Then let's apply the medicine." Late at night, the bedroom finally quieted down. Someone was heard saying, "Happy birthday," and someone else replied, "With you by my side, every day is happy. Not just birthdays." The news that Maya and I were together was made public by Ryan. He anonymously posted photos of Maya and me together that day on the campus confession page, immediately causing a huge uproar. After all, my relationship with Chloe over 3 years was known to almost everyone, and in the photos, I was leaning against her best friend. The post also included insults directed at me. Concisely put, it said I had been with Chloe for 3 years, then got involved with my girlfriend's roommate, Maya, clearly just after Maya's status. Looks innocent on the outside, but is just a gold-digging man on the inside. But he didn't know that a simple trace would reveal his IP address. After the evidence was saved, Maya, with a cold face, had her legal team directly sue Ryan, and she also released photos of him and Chloe together. What I didn't expect was that besides photos of Ryan and Chloe kissing and coming out of a hotel, there were also photos of Ryan entering and exiting a hotel with another woman. Everyone knew Chloe cheated first. I broke up with her afterwards, and I only got with Maya after the breakup. Then a reply appeared from a girl from another school. Turns out she and Ryan had been together for 4 years, since high school. They started a long-distance relationship after college graduation, and the girl would visit Ryan a few times a month. Lately, Ryan had been making excuses, but she came to visit once anyway. That one time, Ryan broke up with her. He vaguely implied that after graduation, they would be in different social classes. Finally, the girl also released a recording and their chat history. Later, I accidentally found out that Chloe and Ryan broke up after Maya's birthday. Ryan, unwilling to accept it, was the one who posted the news about me and Maya on the confession page. Ryan was sued and convicted for defamation, invasion of privacy, etc., and ended up detained for half a month. When he got out, his ex-girlfriend had completely blocked him. I ran into him at the university gate. Ryan was holding Chloe's hand, begging for something. Chloe impatiently shook him off. When Chloe saw me, her eyes reddened, and she froze on the spot. I threw myself into the arms of Maya, who had just gotten out of her car. Maya stroked my head and took my hand to go on our date. Her change her ways? Not even a dog would want that. On graduation day, Maya took me to get our marriage certificate. I had already met her parents. The day I went to her house, I kept tugging at the hem of my shirt. I was a nervous wreck, fantasizing the whole way about her mom dressed in fur, pulling out a $5 million check for me. When Maya found out, her eyes were full of amusement. As we got out of the car, she couldn't help but lean down and kiss my lips. If my mom really offers you $5 million to leave me, you better choose me because I'm worth more than $5 million. Fortunately, Maya's parents were very welcoming. That day at her house, I saw a small cat with a limp. On our wedding day, to my surprise, Chloe actually came. She had lost a lot of weight. When she saw me, her eyes reddened again and again. I gave her a cold nod and then walked past her. Chloe saw me and Maya kissing on the stage. She remembered the day of truth or dare. Because of my question, she had thought I was insecure and felt pleased by it. She had smugly said she'd choose the younger one. It turned out that on that very day, Maya, younger and more outstanding than her, had confessed to me. The bullet she had fired with her own hands had hit her right between the eyes. Back then, she just didn't realize it. Until now. Chloe finally couldn't hold back her tears. She truly loved me. She had fallen for me at first sight, and pursued me for a long time. Back then, she had imagined our future together. But later, she felt I was too conservative, and because of my background, she vaguely thought I couldn't leave her. Coupled with Ryan's appearance, it caused her to lose me forever. On the way back, Chloe, in a daze, got into a car accident. In her dream, she saw her 20-year-old self, her face full of pain, questioning, "I loved him so much. Why did you lose him?" But it was all too late. Some people, once missed, are gone forever. 7 days later, Maya and I were on our honeymoon, standing under the northern lights. The gorgeous aurora, like a ballet, flowed above our heads. Maya looked down, intertwined her fingers, adorned with a wedding ring, with mine, and kissed me. "Jack, I love you until the end of my life. at the end of the world. I received another romantic confession. Brilliant light refracted off our clasped, diamond-ringed hands, symbolizing an eternal promise. I smiled, looked up into her eyes, and said, "Me too. Here is Maya's story. The first time Maya saw me, I was coming out of the library. I was holding a black umbrella, walking under the dim lights. It was pouring rain. She saw someone carefully lift a few fluffy kittens out of the bushes. Then I trotted to the shelter across the way. She could clearly hear her own heartbeat. She was about to go over and give her umbrella to the guy. Just then, his roommate ran over and gave him an umbrella. Behind her, she heard the faint meows of kittens. She saw a tiny kitten cowering pitifully under dry leaves beneath a tree. She instinctively went forward and picked up the kitten. When she stood up, the guy was gone. She custom-ordered a 3-tiered cat house, one that wouldn't get flooded in heavy rain. Coincidentally, the kitten she'd brought home that day got sick, so she had to ask Chloe to help put the cat house back in the bushes. Chloe shrugged, agreed to take it, and said she'd also buy breakfast for the guy she was pursuing. After returning from the vet, her roommate said excitedly, "Chloe's been chasing that guy for over 3 months and he hadn't agreed, but this morning he finally said yes." Maya nodded, feigning indifference. She gathered her things and went to the library. This time, on a whim, she took an extra umbrella. But for 3 days straight, she didn't see that guy, until Chloe said she was treating everyone at the school gate and would introduce her boyfriend. Maya agreed. She never expected that person to be the one Chloe had been pursuing for so long. Me. We seemed very happy together. She suppressed her feelings but often felt miserable. Chloe was good to her, and her upbringing wouldn't let her become the other woman, so she could only become more withdrawn. But she couldn't stop her feelings. She had to force herself to stay away from me. She despicably wished I would dump Chloe, but reality wasn't like that. She thought perhaps she was destined to miss me in this lifetime, until an underclassman started hanging around Chloe. Maya watched coldly as they acted intimately while discussing projects, their eyes full of smiles. She knew maybe she wouldn't miss her chance this time. Sure enough, Chloe was too busy to be in 2 places at once, so on a day of torrential rain, she begged Maya to pick me up. Maya agreed. Later, Chloe started asking for more and more favors. "Maya, Jack wants to play games with me. Can you log into my account and play with him for a bit? I promised Ryan I'd go see a new movie. Maya, can you take Jack out to eat? His professor gave him 2 vouchers for a couple's restaurant, and he really wants to go with me." Her interactions with me became more frequent. I was always very polite, thanking her, but as we got more familiar, I seemed to relax around her. A few days later, I had acute gastritis. My roommate called her, saying Chloe was busy and wouldn't answer their calls. The last shred of hesitation in her heart disappeared. She sneered inwardly. If it weren't for me, she would have cut ties with Chloe long ago. As soon as she knew what kind of person she was, who cared about being sisters with her anyway? She rushed me to the hospital. At the entrance, after getting my medicine, she saw me staring intently across the way. She glanced over. It was Chloe and Ryan kissing on a hospital bed. Seeing me cry, her heart ached. Later, I finally understood her boldness and started to distance myself from her. It broke her heart. Until that day at the club. I stopped her. She asked what I meant. I said, "Nothing much, I like you, Jack. She doesn't deserve you. Be with me. At least give me a chance." Chloe and I broke up as expected. It was just Chloe's answer to my question, saying she'd choose the younger one. Maya thought, "I'm 2 years younger than Chloe, younger than her." Chloe really was a good, unwitting guide. She should thank her. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't have agreed to be with her so quickly. As for what I saw in her, youth, excitement, whatever, it didn't matter. She had it all anyway. The day she proposed to me, her hand holding the ring was trembling. When I nodded, she almost cried. Under the northern lights, I said I loved her. She finally got her response. Maya had caught her moonbeam.